Good evening, friends. We begin our evening prayers tonight by picking up our reading of the book of Job, and we are close enough that it doesn't really warrant two more sessions. So we are going to, in fact, complete our reading of the book of Job and just be a little bit longer than normal in doing so tonight. So, friends, thank you for joining us as we complete our reading of the book of Job. Please do take a moment to post a greeting, share a comment, let us know that you're here with us, and thank you, friends, for being with us as we complete this reading of the book of Job. Let's start as we always do by taking a look at the big picture. Good evening, Anthony. The big picture. So, friends, here it is. And we are in chapter 39. We're fairly well into chapter 39, which is why we're at a point of being able to complete Job. There are 42 chapters, and they're not long chapters. So, yeah, we've got 3 chapters, full chapters, and a partial, and we're in a good spot. So, chapter 39, we pick up in the midst of tonight, this moment where God is responding to Job and to his friends. There's a fair amount of detail showed on this big picture board of these final sections of Job. Don't really feel the need to go into it in great detail, just kind of let it sit there for a bit. God responding to Job in a way that both kind of puts Job in his place, and kind of validates Job as well. And it's certainly not all that favorable towards the friends. And God invites Job to show mercy to these friends, even when they have not exactly shown mercy to him. Good evening, Mom. So let's read, friends. We're not going to do the timer tonight because I know, we're going to complete this. So let's jump in and complete this book. Here are the reading windows. I'll be reading from the left-hand column, a Jewish Bible, the complete Jewish Bible, to be exact. The right-hand column has a Christian Bible, specifically the NRSV updated edition, which I will use primarily to point out things that might need some explaining in Jewish biblical language that sound a little foreign to us as Christians. So let's read, friends. Job chapter 39, we resume at verse 19. Did you give the horse its strength? Did you clothe its neck with a mane? Did you make him able to leap like a locust? Its majestic snorting is frightening. It paws with force it paws with force and exults with vigor, then charges into the battle, mocking at fear unafraid. It does not shy away from the sword. The rider's quiver rattles over it, his gleaming spear and javelin. Frenzied and eager, it devours the ground, scarcely believing the shofar has sounded. Remember, the shofar is a Jewish trumpet, it's a ram's horn. At the sound of the shofar, it whinnies, as from afar it scents the battle. The roar of the chiefs and the shouting. Is it your wisdom that sets the hawk soaring, spreading its wings toward the south? Does the eagle fly up when you say so, to build its nest in the heights? It lives and spends its nights on the cliffs. A rocky crag is its fortress. From there it spots its prey, its eyes see it far off. Its young ones suck up blood. Wherever the slain are, there it is. Continuing to address Eov, remember that's Job, Adonai, God, the Lord, said, does the critic still want to dispute Shaddai? Shortened version of the Hebrew name of God, El Shaddai, Shaddai being the Almighty. Let him who wants to correct God give an answer. Then Eov replied to Adonai, I am too ashamed, I have nothing to say. I lay my hand over my mouth. Yes, I spoke once, but I won't answer more. I'll write twice, but I won't go on. Adonai answered Eov out of the storm, stand up like a man and brace yourself. I will ask questions, and you give the answers. Are you impugning my justice, putting me in the wrong to prove yourself right? Do you have an arm like God's? Can you thunder with a voice like his? Come on, deck yourself with majesty and dignity. Robe yourself in glory and splendor. Let loose your furious anger. Look at all who are proud and humble them. Look at all who are proud and bring them down. Tread down the wicked where they stand. Bury them in the ground together. Bind their faces in the hidden world. If you do this, then I will confess to you that your own power can save you. Now consider Behemoth, whom I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. What strength he has in his loins, what power in his stomach muscles. He can make his tail as stiff as a cedar. The muscles in his thighs are like cables. His bones are like bronze pipes, his limbs like iron bars. He ranks first among God's works. Only his maker can approach him with his sword. The mountains produce food for him there. where all the wild animals play. He lies down under the thorny lotus bushes and is hidden by the reeds in the swamp. The lotus bushes cover him with their shade, and the willows by the stream surround him. If the river overflows, it doesn't worry him. He is confident even if the Yarden, the Jordan, rushes by his mouth. Can anyone catch him by his eyes or pierce his nose with a hook? Note here, we have one of these moments again in our reading of the Hebrew Scriptures from the Jewish Bible with Christian Bible side by side, where there's a divergence in the numberings. The numberings don't match. This next line is verse 25 of chapter 40 in the Jewish Bible. In the Christian Bible, it is the first verse of chapter 41. So we're going to have some time here where things don't exactly match up by verse number. And Leviathan, can you catch him with a fishhook? Or hold his tongue down with a rope? Can you put a ring in his nose or pierce his jaw with a barb? Will he entreat you at length? Will he speak with you softly? Will he agree with you to be your slave forever? Will you play with him as you would with a bird, or keep him on a string to amuse your little girls? Will a group of fishermen turn him into a banquet? Will they divide him among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with darts, or his head with fish spears? If you lay your hand on him, you won't forget the fight, and you'll never do it again. Look, any hope of capturing him is futile. One would fall prostrate at the very sight of him. No one is fierce enough to rouse him, so who can stand up to me? Who has given me anything and made me pay it back? Everything belongs to me under all of heaven. I have no more to say about his limbs, his strong talk, and his matchless strength. Who can strip off his scaly garment? Who can enter his jaws? Who can pry open the doors of his face, so close to his terrible teeth? His pride is his rows of scales, tightly sealed together. One is so close to the next that no air can come between them. They are stuck one to another, interlocked and impervious. When he sneezes, light flashes out. His eyes are like the shimmer of dawn. From his mouth go fiery torches, and sparks come flying out. His nostrils belch steam like a cauldron boiling on the fire. His breath sets coals ablaze. Flames pour from his mouth. Strength resides in his neck, and dismay dances ahead of him as he goes. The layers of his flesh stick together, they are firm on him, immovable. His heart is as hard as a stone, yes, hard as a lower millstone. When he rears himself up, the gods are afraid, beside themselves in despair. If a sword touches him, it won't stick, neither will a spear or a dart or a lance. He regards iron as straw, and bronze as rotten wood. An arrow can't make him flee, for him slingstones are so much chaff. Clubs count as hay, and he laughs at the quivering javelin. His belly is as sharp as fragments of pottery, so he moves across the mud like a threshing sledge. He makes the depths seethe like a pot. He makes the sea boil like a perfume kettle. He leaves a shining wake behind him, making the deep seem to have white hair. On earth there is nothing like him, a creature without fear. He looks straight at all high things. He is king over all proud beasts. That brings us to chapter 42, the last chapter. And before we go on with that, we're going to take one last. This is the epilogue, the completion of the book. Job shows repentance. Job is affirmed by God. God calls out the friends. God has Job pray for mercy from God for them. And then everything that Job had is restored. Let's complete our reading, chapter 42. Then at last Eov gave Adonai this answer. I know that you can do everything, that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. You asked, who is this hiding counsel without having knowledge? Yes, I spoke without understanding of wonders far beyond me, which I didn't know. Please listen and I will speak. You said I will ask questions and you give me answers. I had heard about you with my ears, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I detest myself and repent in dust and ashes. And after Adonai had spoken these words to Job, Adonai said to Eliphaz the Temanite, my anger is blazing against you and your two friends, because unlike my servant Job, you have not spoken rightly about me. So now, get yourselves 7 young bulls and 7 rams, go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves a burnt offering. My servant Job will pray for you, because him I will accept, so that I won't punish you as your boorishness deserves. Because you have not spoken rightly about me, as my servant Job has. So Eliphaz the Timni, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Namathite, went and did what Adonai had ordered them to do. And Adonai accepted Job's prayer. When Job prayed for his friends, Adonai restored his fortunes. Adonai gave Job twice as much as he had had before. Then all his brothers and sisters came to him, also all who had known him before, and they ate a meal with him in his house. They consoled and comforted him for all the evils Adonai had inflicted on him. Each one gave him a piece of silver and a gold ring. Adonai blessed Eob's latter situation even more than his earlier one. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 pairs of oxen, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. The first he named Yemima, Jemima. The second, Keziah, and the third, Karen Hapuk. Nowhere in the land could women be found as beautiful as Eob's daughters, and their father gave them inheritances along with their brothers. That's an incredibly powerful comment there. Think about this. From old world standards, long, long ago, it would have been unthinkable. An inheritance for a daughter? After this, Eov lived 140 years, long enough to see his sons and grandsons 4 generations, then old and full of days. Eov died. And that, friends, brings us to the completion of the book of Job. One more off the list. That's 11 books now. We continue reading Luke and Amos. We'll add something new. I'll pick that out, and tomorrow morning we'll do an introduction to the new book that will take the spot held until now by Job. In a few moments, friends, we'll also do evening prayers in somewhat of a brief form tonight, because we spent a little bit longer time than normal in the book of Job tonight to bring it to completion. See you in a few moments right here for the next live when we'll pray together.